Hi, I'm Tim Whitmire with First Integrity Mortgage. And joining me today is Jason Rulo with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Select Properties. I challenge you to memorize that. So, Jason, thank you for joining us.
Tim, thanks for having me. Easier way, just BHHS Select Properties. That's a lot easier than saying the full thing. But you know what? Thank you, Warren Buffett. The man's a genius, so we'll just
obviously
go with it.
There's a reason behind it then. Right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm very appreciative of you joining me, and I'm glad I get this opportunity to introduce you to people I've done business with in the past and hope to do business with in the future. Jason is a real estate agent that I've worked with for quite some time, and I've known him for quite a while. So we're business partners, but we're also good friends. And I met him through Scouts, through my son. And Jason's son and my son are very good friends. And both of us were involved with Scouts and got to know each other. And then you got into the real estate business, and the rest is history. So
It has. I mean, I guess, gosh, well, I've been in the business since 2016. So we've had that going. But then, yeah, definitely way before, since the boys are freshmen now. And this goes back to kindergarten. So that long of a relationship, Tim, we've had. That's why we work so well with one another.
Absolutely. It's hard to believe because neither of us are old enough to have kids in high school. But
I know.
Don't know how that happens, but we're here. So
I'm okay with it, though.
Yep. So let me ask you this. What got you into real estate?
So it was actually my wife's uncle. He owns his own brokerage in Southern Illinois. And he was kind of the main one that pushed me, besides my wife, Megan. She was a huge supporter. She was like, I know you're not happy with what you're currently doing, and I think you'd be great at it as well. So let's just give it a shot. And throughout love and support, here I am.
Oh, that's
6-7 years later.
Now that's huge. So you have support from home, and I know Megan. She's amazing. So there we go.
Yeah. She is good.
So, but you bring up an interesting point. So you have family in Southern Illinois, and that's what was part of the motivation to get you into real estate. So when you have clients that are looking on both sides of the river, if they're looking in Illinois, you have a source for them.
I do. I have, not only do I have my uncle through marriage who I can refer, but my cousin through marriage, Chad, I can refer him as well. So, and he's actually with my company, so it makes it real easy.
Yeah, that's perfect. Like same brokerage, right? Or yeah, that's amazing. Okay, so that's the Illinois side, but on the Missouri side, what areas are you covering?
Missouri side, it's all me. I mean, I've sold everywhere and helped clients from, as far south as Farmington. I've had a client that's actually looked down at the lake of the Ozarks. We've made some trips down there. Those are long hauls, but they're worth it for the client. Trip. It is. And then, as far out as Wentzville. I mean, I and everywhere in between. I don't really stay in one area. I'm just kind of all over the place. So,
yeah, no, that's huge. And you're working with buyers and sellers, investors, right?
I do. So buyers and sellers, investors. But I also work with renters. A lot of people don't realize that they can use a realtor to look for rental property.
Got it. Okay. So let me ask you this. Okay, for a renter, for example. So I guess you can help them find available. I mean, I guess as a renter, there's probably a shortage of homes for rentals also. I know there certainly is, or can be, for buyers.
There is. It's just like, property that's for sale. It's the same way. There can be a shortage. The thing that I love though about working with renters is, there's always a reason why they're not buying. Sometimes it's just because they don't have the funds to buy. They don't have the down payment. They don't have the closing cost. Credit score might not be that great to where they can get a loan. So that's why I like, because I love helping people. It's just, I've just naturally been that way, that I just love helping people. So it's great if it's, if it is a credit score issue, then I get to have them, have a conversation with you. So that way you can kind of set them up in the right steps. So that way, yeah, we're going to rent now, but once this lease is up in a year or two, hopefully if you've taken Tim's advice and you've listened to me as well, we'll be in a position to where instead of signing another lease, we're actually going out with a pre-approval and getting you into a home for you to
Yeah.
buy.
And I love that because we're not in business of telling people no. We
No.
want to help people achieve homeownership.
Yeah.
And whether you can buy a home now, or if you're not able to buy a home now for whatever reason, with talking to us, we give you a plan to become a homeowner as soon as possible. And that can include what do you need to do to improve your credit score. I can give you clarity on how much cash total that you're going to need for the purchase, and we can come up with a game plan of how to come up with the cash, all sorts of things. So,
which cash is that's a big thing. A lot of people, that's another thing that I like to do is I'm big on educating. I love being able to educate people on the home buying process, because a lot of people, they don't know. They think that, I've got to have that down payment. And some are even so old in their thinking that they even think that they have to have the 20% down, which, as isn't true. I mean, your company has great programs where they can get in, as little as 3%, or an FHA at 3.5%, or, 5% down.
Yeah. And if you're a veteran, there's 100% financing. If you buy it in a rural area, you can get 100% financing for that. If you're a first-time home buyer, there's down payment assistance. There's so many programs out there, and it's just being aware of what's available. That's why it's so important for us to talk to people, to find out, and to let you guys know.
Yeah, I think that's having, we're obviously a great team. We work well together.
Yeah.
We have great communication. That reinforcement of, okay, Jason says it, now Tim verifies it. That I think that works out great, and it really makes people feel comfortable.
Yep.
And that's why, we always get good reviews, because people they like that.
We have fun while we're at it.
We do. We do have a lot of fun, which that's the way it should be.
Yep. I have to say, closings with Jason they're fun. They're a good time. Everyone's laughing and having a good time, and it can be that way because they are educated, and when they get to the closing table, it's what we told them it was, and it makes things so much easier and so much more fun when we do it that way.
Yeah, it does. Whenever you lay it out to them, and you take out any surprises, it does. It makes it a nice, smooth transaction. They enjoy it, because trust me, there are some people I've spoke to. They have horror stories of how their deals were not that smooth. It came down to that they just didn't have a great education from the realtor to them, and the communication was lacking. Yep. Which is big. You have to have those two to have a smooth transaction.
Yeah, that's so true. And I can vouch for Jason on that too, because I work with a lot of realtors from a lot of buyers, and you have that agent that you get the contract in, and they're not calling you until, right before closing to make sure we're going to close. And I was like, well, wait a second. There's a little bit more to it than that. And the follow-up with Jason, he's calling consistently throughout until we get to closing, even before you go under contract. And that's something that we do well together, is communicate with each other. And beyond that, if issues do come up, for example, and there could be any number of things, but home buyers that have inspections that are done, there's appraisals that are completed, and then you're looking at the home value, or maybe repairs need to be done. And when something needs to happen, that's when communication goes into overdrive, and that's when Jason really gets after it.
Yeah, I think that's part of the difference too that you find from, like, myself. I'm a full-time realtor. This is all I do. Real estate is all I do, whether it's buyers, sellers, renters, people looking for land, investment property, whatever it is. That's all I do, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. Compared to whenever you work with someone who is only part-time, and they may only do a transaction or two a year, compared to someone that does 20 plus, it's a big difference in the quality of agent that you get.
I couldn't agree more. It's like absolutely, positively work with a full-time agent. As your lender, I'm begging you to do so, but preferably Jason, because Jason's great, but must be a full-time realtor without a doubt. So I'm glad you brought that up.
No, it's important. It is.
So, so we've covered a couple of things. Like, so you've been doing this for a good amount of time. So you have the experience, you're full-time, you communicate well, you're working with buyers, sellers, investors, renters, the whole gamut, full-time, full service, professional realtor in the whole St. Louis area.
Yes.
Correct. Anything I should add to that?
No, I mean, just, I have a passion for it, and I just, for me, it's not, I mean, don't get me wrong, commission checks are nice, but it's
not about that.
It's
Right.
not about that. It's the joy of actually being able to help people is just really rewarding and satisfying. And I get more out of that, seeing that first time home buyer that has, worked for years to save up for that down payment and closing cost, and being able to make their dream come true that they've, been chasing for 2-3 years, sometimes even longer. That's just a good feeling. Or to help, someone who's, unfortunately had a family member pass away, and, it's a hard time in their life, but being there and being supportive, just saying, hey, everything's going to be okay. We're going to get you through this. And, just have faith in me.
Yep. And you are a people person. I know that. So.
I am.
So if someone would like to reach out to you, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Best is shoot me a text message or call me, 314-601-2648, or you can go to jasonrulo.com, and all my information is there as well.
Awesome. And beyond that, if you would like a warm introduction, if you reach out to me, I would be more than happy to make a warm introduction to Jason. So I appreciate you joining us today, and so glad you had an opportunity to meet Jason, and he's fantastic. So if you're considering buying, selling within the next 6 to 12 months, call me, call Jason, and we'll absolutely love to help you.
Yeah. Thank you, Tim. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.